in today's episode, Kristin and I are making hexagons. We're going to teach you guys how to get started with solid hexagons and multicolor hexagons, how to change colors, how to mix those colors together. She's a whiz with colors. You're going to want to listen to what she has to say. And then we can make these adorable garlands behind us. You can pick up a kit at onebighappy.com, and we're ready to get started on hexagons. Here we are, ready to make our hexagons. I'm so excited to share this with you. This is my friend Kristin Nicholas. We have known each other for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, long time.
Can't believe we can say that. And she is just the queen of color. I have always been just filled with joy when I see your projects because they are just full of such gorgeous colors, and I'm so glad that you're bringing all of that here to us at One Big Happy. I'm so happy that you're here.
Yeah, I'm branching into crochet where, I've been known for knitwear for years and years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So excited that she's going to share her color sense and these projects with you. So today we're working on basic hexagons. And why don't we talk about the materials that you're going to need? And then I will let Kristin get to stitching and showing you all of the magic of this little shape. So we are going to need, we are using Ultra Alpaca from Barocco for this project. It is a beautiful 50-50 blend of alpaca and merino wool. It's got great color depth to it. A lot of the colors are heathered, so you get like 2, sometimes 3 color effects out of the yarn. And it's generous yardage. What have we got? 200 plus?
Or something, yeah, something. Over 200.
Yeah, over 200
100
yards.
grams.
Yeah, it's great yardage. So you go a long way with the skein yarn in this. It's worsted weight. That's a number 4 medium yarn. We're also going to need tapestry needle, stitch markers. Stitch markers are your friends. Don't be afraid of them. Scissors and a size H8 5mm crochet hook. Now I'll be using the interchangeable crochet hooks from Sawyer Creek Artistry. Where I just pop my little H hook into the tip there and I'll be ready to go.
That is fabulous.
I know, these are such great hooks. And Kristin's going to be using a hook from Boy. This is one of the steel aluminum metal hooks from Boy. It's got the molded tip, nice tapered throat. So why don't you hop in on the hexagon for us, Kristin?
Will do. So we're going to be making blankets. I have made 4 couch-sized blankets out of hexagon. Every winter, I sit there, watch TV, and make hexagons at night.
They're really addictive. They're like the
so
potato
addictive.
chips of crochet.
Yeah, totally. And once you do them, every winter when I start doing it again, I forget, and I look at one, you can follow the stitches easily. I have piles of them in a big plastic tub, and when I get enough, I start sewing them together and then check the colors and keep adding to them where I need extra color ranges.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's very easy. We're going to make a slip knot. And I'm going to pull it tight on my hook, and I'm going to chain 6.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to join.
Right back to that first chain.
To the first chain, yep. There we go. Oh, you know what? I have to put my glasses on. That's why I'm having a little trouble, because there we go. Oh my God.
After 20 years of friendship, we both need glasses.
Yeah, that is so much better. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to join with a slip knot. I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to chain 2.
Yep.
And I'm going to do 3, this is going to act as one of the legs. I'm going to do 2 double crochets.
Right into that circle.
Right into the circle, yep. So that's 1 and 2. So if you look at this, you can see that we've got sets of 3 double crochets all around the first row. Okay, so in between, what I do is I leave my tail right wrapped around, and then I can pull it tight later.
Yeah.
So I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to do 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, and 1, 2, that's 2 double crochets, and 3.
So then you would just do that. So let's see, we've done 3 of those.
Right.
So you're going to do 3 more of those until we have 6 groups of 3.
Right.
And then we'll join it all together. So go ahead and finish that little section in your pattern, and then we'll show you how to join that together.
So now I've finished my 6 groups, which includes the first group, which is a chain and 2 double crochets.
Yeah.
And now what we want to do is do a slip stitch to join these in a circle. So we're just going to go through the first leg, which is your, that's your chain, and pull it through and do a slip stitch. Now at this point, we're going to be changing colors. So what I like to do is I do 2 single crochets.
Or chains.
I mean chains, whoops, whoops.
It's okay.
And I cut, and I pull it through, and I tug on it tightly, and that holds it together. Because if you've ever had an Afghan that gets old and old and old, sometimes they start falling apart. So just by doing it 2 and scrunching it up, it holds it together better.
That is so smart. I've never done that
You
before.
haven't?
I love that. Yeah.
Well, I've had them fall apart on me. So. So now I know. So now we've got our cute little circle, which it looks like a circle now, but it is going to start growing into a hexagon, and that's because we've got 6 groups.
Right, because so now those spaces between those groups, we're going to start putting corners in.
Right, yep. So I'm going to use this teal color. Such a pretty color.
I know, I love the color range from Barocco in this yarn.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. So you can start anywhere on this because they're groups of 6. So I don't usually start where my tail is because then I've got tails all in the same spot. So I'm just gonna, it doesn't matter, just go in another spot.
Yeah, just pick one.
Pick one. Okay, and I'm going to, okay, so I don't know if I do this right because I just am pretty much self-taught. So I use a long tail and I actually grab the double.
Yeah, the tail in the working yarn.
Yeah.
I've been teaching that for years.
Oh, okay.
It locks the tail in place.
Right, and you barely have to weave it in at the end.
Yeah.
So I've got, that's my second chain.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the yarn. Flying away. Okay, so now we're going to do groups of 2 groups in this one hole. So this is where our hole was from the chain between the groups of 3. Mm-hmm. And instead of doing groups of 3, we're going to do groups of 2. And the nice thing about doing the groups of 2 is it saves you a little yarn and it doesn't get quite as heavy.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I've got my 1, and at this point I just let this little tail go.
Yeah, you can just snip it later.
Yep, and I go in and I'm going to do a double crochet, and now we're going to do a chain 1, and now we do 2 double crochets. That's 1, 2. Okay, so
Look at that.
Look at that. You can start seeing how the hole starts to develop and starts building the hexagon. Okay, so now we're going to go to this one, this hole. And at this point, we're going to do 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 2 double crochets.
All in that same spot.
All in the same spot. So here we go. 1, 2, chain, 1, 2.
These really go together so fast.
They really do.
And I'm not kidding about the potato chip of crochet. These things are so addictive. I've done like 300 of them in the last month. I love them.
I think the reason that they are so addictive is you keep changing the colors. So I always think of these hexagons as a color study, and I can then take that color study and build it into a bigger project. And that's why I like to keep changing it up and keep adding more color ranges.
That's
colors.
so funny, because so as I'm working on projects, I find I finish a certain hexagon. I'm like, oh, I just want to make a whole project out of that.
Right,
like this one here, that's almost like what you're working on, but it's got that appley green in it. I love this combination. So like my brain is thinking about what can I do with just a whole blanket of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get such a different blanket when it's only, say, 3 colors or 4 colors. And then because I love color, I like to mix them all together and make like a jewel tone kind of blanket.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's so addictive.
Yeah,
okay,
so
now
we just do that corner
I'm
again.
here.
Ah, you're where that tail was.
I'm where the tail is. And I'm just going to hold it here. I'm going to do the same thing again. 1 double crochet.
Oh, I think I single crocheted. Don't do that.
Bad Sarah.
Don't do that.
That's the greatest thing about crochet. It's so easy to rip out.
Yeah.
So I did my chain, and now we're going to do 2 more.
Yeah. That's what my students of mine will know, that one of my favorite sayings is, when in doubt, rip it out.
Yep. Okay.
You'll learn so much more from taking your work apart than you ever thought you would.
Now, at this point, you could carry this over in the back and catch it in the next one, but I don't like to do that because it will come loose later.
And it's moving its way across a space.
Yeah, across the back where you've got the 4
so it's not
double crochets.
It's not tucked in. So this is what Kristin is talking about. Like if we carried this across here, let me put a stitch here and I'll show you. So that's sitting along the top here, but it could get loose.
Yep.
And it just looks untidy. So this is not a project where you can crochet over your tails very much. You can right at the beginning of that first round,
you can. Yep.
but the rest of them you're going to have to weave in. And I mean, your hexagons are going to look like jellyfish.
Yeah, and you just think, oh my God, how am I ever going to weave these in?
But it's part of the process, and it's totally worth it for the projects that we finish up with. So you'll end up with 6 ends.
Oh my goodness, Sarah, look, I made a mistake. There's 2
only
double
2?
Crochets. Now, I'm not that picky. I just go right over it.
I'm not going to tell anybody if you don't tell anybody.
But everybody knows now.
So you all know, but shh, don't tell anybody. But in the larger scheme of the project,
you will not see it at all.
No. The key here is the 6 sides and 6 corners. And if you have one side that's only 2 double crochets instead of 3, nobody will ever know.
That is for sure. We are not the crochet police.
No. But also, I think little things like that help to make these projects
handmade.
Yeah. It's human.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'm ahead of you again, so
I'll
wait.
Well.
I crochet really fast.
She does.
But yeah, you start to get the feel for those 6 corners are really starting to pop out.
Okay, here I am joining mine. Yeah, it's amazing in your second row or second round. I'm doing my 2 single chains.
Here, you go ahead and use those scissors. You're welcome.
I love these folding scissors. Those are great. You guys sell those, right?
We do. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to pull it, scrunch it down, and now we have 2 rounds of color.
They go so fast.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to use our 3rd color. Get rid of that one.
So now I'm doing 3 colors on mine. I mean, I'm only doing 2 colors on mine, but I'm doing 3. Oh, I love that scrunch, Kristin.
Oh, I made that up.
I love that. You have changed how I finish these hexagons.
That's what happens when you don't really know what you're doing. You make things up. Okay, so now we're going to go in the center. This is where I start, right in the center of what's turning into a corner.
Yeah.
Right.
So the same thing as before. Like, we're not going to go where we finished. We're just going to pick any other one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and pick up at 1. Oh, that wasn't 1. Now I'm doing 1, 2. Let the tail kind of drop. And now I'm going to do my double crochet. chain, double crochet, double crochet. Okay, so now in our next spot, we're just going to do a group of 2, okay? Because what that's doing is it's building the second side.
Right.
So we've got the corner, corner, and we've got to build this second side out.
So we're bridging the gap between those two corners.
That's a good way to think about it.
Because otherwise it would pull in too much.
Right. And they have a tendency to pull in until they're blocked.
Here, I'll even do it so that they can see. I'm going to skip that middle part.
Okay.
Just so you can see how much it affects and how necessary those 2 double crochets in the middle of that side are.
Oh, yeah. I know when I was first developing this thing.
Yeah, it really starts to.
Yeah, it starts
and the
to
whole
pull
thing
in.
starts to cup.
Almost makes like a bowl.
Yeah. So this is where the physics of crochet comes in. The top of your stitches, the circumference of the top of your stitches needs to be big enough so that the work continues to lie flat. If only they taught us math this way.
Yeah. Well, I'm terrible in math.
I used to think I was.
And physics. Forget that.
but
I just know why it works and why it doesn't. Oh. Okay, we'll keep going around.
Yeah, so now this is just a series of those corners that we made in round 2, and then that little group of 2 double crochets between the corners. And that builds out round 3. It's so addictive.
Oh, yeah.
And because this is almost like granny squares, once you get those the first round done, most of what you're working on in round 2 and round 3 is stitches worked into spaces. And so if you're like me, you can kind of watch TV or movies while you're doing it because your hands can feel where those spaces are. You don't have to look as much.
Oh, I spend all winter making these darn things. Oops.
They're
Okay,
really
so
so
I
enjoyable.
just split my yarn,
Oh,
which, that happens a lot.
all the time.
So I'm going to pull my hook out. I don't even know how I did it. And I'm going to rip back,
Yeah.
put my hook back in,
Start again.
and start again.
Yeah.
And it's not a race, right? It's
There are no deadlines on your projects. There's
Right.
no yarn emergencies. I mean, you might have a deadline for your project, but nobody knows but you.
right.
It's just a deadline you're holding yourself to. You can take your time and have fun and really sort of, I don't know, I sort of get lost in the project sometimes.
Oh, me too. I have stayed up way too late doing these things.
Yep.
Watching some kind of TV series or...
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially with a larger project, and we'll get into that in later episodes in the series, that there can be a randomness to how you put it together, but there can also be an assembly line way to put it together.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because I'm me, I actually prefer the randomness because I like to have an adventure every time I'm doing a project.
And for me, I'm very much assembly line with just a little bit of adventure thrown in. So we'll talk about that in our later episodes. Oh, so nice.
Oh, now this is something to talk about. I'm almost finished here.
Oh, yeah. Our gauge.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, I really like those colors together. They're
Yeah.
kind of sherbety.
Yeah, they are sherbety. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. There I am. I've got, oh, no, that's just a loose. Oh, did I do my single? I have to do my single.
Yeah. And they're really, these hexagons are really easy to read. So if you sort of lose track of where you are, you stop paying attention for a bit, and you look back down, they're really simple to be able to look at and go, oh, that's where I am, and I can pick right back up and keep moving forward from there.
So, Sarah, I learned to crochet from my grandma.
I did too.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Oh, awesome. And she taught me how to wrap my yarn around my finger, and that's how I get my tension. How do you do it?
So if I were still crocheting, the yarn just sort of weaves through my fingers over, under, over, under.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my feeder.
Right.
And then if I want tension on my yarn, these fingers stay closed. And if I want the yarn to feed through,
You just let it go a little bit.
yeah. And so it's like a constant dance of there's tension, there's not now because I'm pulling more through, now there's tension. So it's, yeah, it's just like a basket weave through my fingers.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to try that sometime.
That's actually a good idea, is trying different ways of tensioning your yarn, especially when you if you're working on a project and your hands are starting to hurt or it's feeling like too much work, try tensioning your yarn differently.
Right. It's hard after you've been doing it for so long. It's really hard to readjust your technique.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Learn new techniques.
So look at this.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we can talk about this. Okay. So this is mine and this is Sarah's for today. And look at the difference.
Yeah,
let me
just grab my ancient little tape measure over here, and you can see the real difference. So when we talk about gauge, like this is super important. So Kristin's are 3.5. That's the project size. That's the gauge for our projects in this series. And then mine just came out at 4. So that's a 1/2 inch more.
That's a 1/2 inch.
That's going to eat up a lot more yarn over the course of a project. So if I were just making my first hexagon and then looking at the pattern and it's asking for 3.5 inch hexagons, I would go down a hook size, make another one, see if it comes out at 3.5. If it's still too big, I would go down another hook size. So swatching is super important.
But the nice thing about blankets, Afghans, it doesn't really matter the size. So, hers would turn out bigger. Mine would turn out a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
And the weird thing about it is if I'm sitting there and I have had a slightly tense day, mine turned out small. Most likely this is small because, I'm crocheting on camera. I'm not watching television. Sometimes they come out loose like this. But most of the time when you sew these together, when you block it, it'll all straighten out.
It all works out. And it's so true. Like whatever mood or emotion you're feeling, if it's super strong one way or the other, it does tend to come out in your stitches. So,
oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, but you're right. When you put it all together in a larger project,
it just stretches out.
Pish posh.
Yeah.
So I have a special surprise for you. So I
love surprises, Sarah.
I worked up a solid version of the hexagon.
Okay.
Which is super simple, which just has a couple of slip stitches to it. So we're going to start the same.
Okay.
I'm going to do that center section.
Man, you're fast.
Yeah. Oh. I'm going to do that first round the same that we did before, and I'm going to work over this tail. So So I just joined, and I'm going to wrap my tail around this ring as I crochet. So I'm crocheting over it. I'm still going to weave it in at the end, but this gives it just a little extra.
Yeah.
All
Saves you a little time at the end.
It does. So this first round is exactly the same as the multicolor hexagon. So it's those 6 groups of 3 with the chain 1 in between. I was just thinking sometimes with some projects, you might want to break it up with a solid hexagon. So I thought it might be fun to include that.
Sure, yeah. Because not everybody is as color crazy as I am.
Right. And then you could do, I was thinking about my best friend Annie. And she loves rainbow stuff, but not too much rainbow stuff. And I know she has this Shishiko embroidered quilt, and it's like mostly ivory, and it just has pops of color and bits of rainbow. And I was thinking like an ivory colored blanket where it's mostly ivory hexagons, but then little colorful hexagons in like polka dots.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's so many options with projects like this, with little motifs like this. You can put them together in a million different ways.
Right. And you can pick like your 5 favorite colors and just do solids and then sew them together.
Oh yeah.
It would be good to have 7 colors, because then when you join them, you got your solid and around the sides.
Yep, you'd have 6 other colors. So you'd never have 2 next to each other.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, and that makes it more fun.
All right, I'm just checking to make sure I have 6. All right, so that's round 1.
Okay.
Same as the round 1 in the multicolor hexagon. And now we're not Indiana Jones. We're not going to travel by map. We're going to travel by slip stitch. We're going to slip stitch into the top of...
Oh, wait, I got to see this.
So that's the next double crochet.
Okay.
I did a slip stitch in the top.
Yep.
Then there's that third one, slip stitch in the top, Now I'm over to the next chain 1 space.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to slip stitch in there.
Okay.
Then I'm set to start round 2.
Okay.
And round 2 is just the chain, the double crochet,
Yep.
chain 1, and then 2 more double crochets back in that same spot. And that's that first
So the only
corner.
tricky part is this slip stitch.
Slip stitch across the top.
All right.
Yep. So then you would do the same instructions all the way around round 2. And this is in the pattern for the basic hexagons. You would just do those 6 corners. And let me finish those up and I'll show you how to start round 3 in this solid color hexagon. So here I've made that 6th corner. I'm just going to go ahead and do a slip stitch to that chain 2 we started with. That joins round 2.
Yep.
And now we're going to travel by slip stitch again.
Okay.
We're going to slip stitch to the top of the next double crochet. You want to make sure that you get 2 strands,
Right.
not just 1. And then slip stitch into that chain 1 space.
Okay.
And then we're ready for the 3rd round.
Okay.
So that's just, you're doing that chain 2,
Chain 2.
double crochet, chain 1,
one,
2 more double
2 more
crochets back in that same spot.
You know, the thing, you get into a rhythm in your head and you've got this little song going.
Yes. 2
2
and 1
double
and
crochets,
2.
1 chain, 2 double crochets, 1 chain, and you're around.
And then there's
The
that.
things that make us happy.
I know, like it does. Like these little projects bring such joy. And I'm not one that likes making the same thing twice. Ask anybody that knows me. But these don't feel, they never
don't
feel
feel
like
like
I'm
they're
making the
twice,
same
no.
thing. So then you would just continue your way around the same way that you did round 3 on the multicolor one. And then you have a solid colored hexagon.
Yeah, awesome.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really happy with that. All right, so then why don't we talk a little bit about weaving in ends?
I actually like weaving in ends.
I do too.
But I save them all up until the end, and I weave them in before I sew them together.
Ah. Oh, so you get all your hexagons made, and then you weave in the
all
ends.
in, and then
you put them
and then I
together.
put them together. And it's like you get into a different mindset when you're sewing in ends. And I don't really find it a chore.
No, it's just part of the project.
Yeah, it's, it's a building, and it's actually pretty darn meditative.
Yes.
So, okay, so here we go. Here's the one I made, and here are my ends in the back.
It's your little jellyfish hexagon.
Yep. And so I usually start, there's no right or wrong way to do this, but I usually start in the beginning in my first round. And the way I thread this is a plastic tapestry needle. And they're nice and flexible, which is great, because I'll show you in a second why they're great. So to start it, I take my needle and I fold my thread over and I grab it and hold it, and I've made a little loop around the end of my needle. I pull my needle out and I just push it through. And because I have no raw end, it goes through easily.
Yeah. So smart. Instead of trying to thread it from the end where it's going to split.
Yeah, you can't do that. So now you can see I did crochet around my end in the beginning. So this is actually pretty good. Now I'm going to just weave through here.
Just through the feet of those stitches.
Yeah, around the feet. And the cool thing about these plastic needles is they actually will bend around the circle.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to pull it, a little tug, pull it tight, and there we go. Now, for me, that's enough.
Yeah.
Now, you always think, how long of a tail should you leave?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, and I am always worried about them popping to the front side. And, in knitting, you don't want the tail to be too short. So I feel like in crochet, my tail shouldn't be too short either. So I cut it, I usually cut it either 1/4 of an inch or like a 1/2 inch.
Oh, so you leave your little tails popping out.
Yeah, just because in my family, they don't exactly respect my crochet.
Oh.
And who knows what's going to happen to it. But see, as I stretched it, it went in.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they'll pull themselves back in.
So now let me do the other end of that. Taking my little loop that I made and pushing it through. And I am now going to go through this group on the back side of the double crochet, chain, double crochet.
Oh yeah, because there's a lot of little feet there that you can hide in.
Right. I'm going to go through, and then at the top of these two, I'm going to pull one up and pull it through. Now, when you're just beginning, it's good just to grab one loop. But as you improve your skills, you can actually go through 2 or 3 at the same time.
Yep.
So there I'm going through 2, and I'm pulling. And here I'm going to go through all those feet. Now at this point, I like to do a little tug, okay? And that sort of helps it so it won't pop through later.
Yep.
And I'm going to wrap over the first leg, pull through to the end of that group of double crochets, and do a little tug, and then go through here. Again, you can do it a real lot, or you can, depends on if you want to live on the edge or not of things coming apart. Okay, so now I pulled it through. And the last one, I don't really like to leave there because then there's a chance it might come through the front. So I will go over and end it right about there.
In the middle.
In the middle, yep.
Yep.
And pull through, give it a nice little tug, and then clip. And you just get in the zone and keep going.
Yep.
So that's it. We would keep obviously going.
Oh yeah,
through.
until you've woven in all the ends.
Oh, and then this thing where in the very beginning, remember when we used our double strand when we were first starting? This thing, I just leave it just for like security, safety. Now the back of my things, my crochet Afghans sometimes they look a little fringed, but
because you've got all these little tails.
Because I got little ends. I mean, if you're paranoid about that, then just cut them short.
I mean, and especially when you're working with animal fibers. I mean, this is a wool and alpaca blend.
Right.
They'll felt a little bit over time, and they'll stick to the back side of the blanket. So you'll be good. You'll be good. All right. So we have made 3 color hexagons. We have made solid hexagons. What do you do with them? Well, in this series, we're going to go on and we're going to make this beautiful cowl that's behind us here. And when we do that in one of the further episodes, we're going to show you how to make half hexagons. And then we're going to show you how to put them all together. But what if you just want to make a whole bunch of hexagons? Or you start on a bigger project and you realize your eyes were bigger than your stomach when it came to crochet.
How often does that happen?
So often to all of us. And you get, a bunch of hexagons done, but you realize you're never really going to make that king-size blanket that you thought you were going to make. What do you do with all those beautiful hexagons? Well, you can make this adorable garland that's behind us.
That is so cute.
So easy to put together. Now, I have a couple more jellyfish garlands here because I like to weave in ends at the end of a project.
Oh, I want to see how you do it. Okay, at the end of the project.
Well, I can show you real quick. I do the same kind of thing, but I do live a little bit more on the edge than you.
Okay.
You are very careful and very meticulous, and I'm a little more slapdash with mine.
Okay.
So I've got this orange here. I'm going to weave it down through a little bit of those orange stitches.
Okay.
I'm going to go through the legs of these pink stitches. I'm going to catch the orange stitches on the other side and then back through the pink.
Oh, okay.
So if you were to unravel all of that, you'd have about an inch of yarn, which is, for me, fine. I never found really that I needed much more than that. But I'm also not afraid if it pops open, I'll stitch it back together. I'll just grab sewing thread and stitch it back together if it really pops open. I'm not that worried about it. But the weaving in ends for me always happens at the end of a project. It's part of the final finishing of a project for me. And strangely enough, I don't usually weave in my ends until after I've blocked.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So just I know. So my process with it is to block it, and then those tails get blocked straight.
Well, that's true, and they get set. So when you're either washing it or steaming it, it sets right into the fabric.
Yeah, and so because like their first little bit is they're blocked that way, and then I weave them in. They hold a little bit of tension, and they don't come out as easy. So that's
so true.
That's my process. So all right, so now what do we do with all these great hexagons? I'm gonna line up a bunch of them and say that's a cute little bunting garland. I'm gonna grab one of my colors, and this is a great way to stash dive and use up your stash, because you can make these hexagons out of any weight.
Oh yeah.
Any weight yarn. And if you check out our Knitting with Any Gauge yarn stitch support video, I actually show you how to use a lace weight, a DK weight, and a bulky weight yarn to get the same gauge. So you could
double stuff up,
triple stuff up. If you've got like bits and pieces of sock yarn, you can hold it tripled. It'll equal a worsted weight, and then you could work your hexagons with that. All right, so to make this little garland, and if you've picked up a kit or the pattern at onebighappy.com, all the instructions for this are in that pattern. I'm going to chain 10.
I've got to try that hook someday.
Oh, I love these hooks.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to slip stitch to that first chain. Let me get my tail out of the way. To make a loop. This just makes it easy to hang up your garland. See that nice loop?
Oh, isn't that cute?
Yeah. And then, because my tail is right here now, I'm going to chain with the tail held with the working yarn. And I'm going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you can see there's that little bit of that tail that's popping out. When you hang this up, nobody's going to see that. You don't even need to snip it, just leave it there. Then I'm going to grab a hexagon, and any side, any one of the 6 sides, we're just going to single crochet our way across the top. I'm going to work into that chain space in the corner and do a single crochet. And then I'm going to work into the top of those 6 doubles. And each one gets a single crochet stitch. Just like that. This goes so fast. These little garlands go so fast. So for the blanket project, which we'll work on in another episode, there's a lot of hexagons. You'll probably have some extra. So if you work on that blanket, you can definitely make one of these little garlands afterwards.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, so there's 8 single crochets across the top. Then we're going to chain 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then just repeat that into that corner space, into each of the double crochets.
Easy peasy.
It's so simple. This is a great way to decorate for a birthday party or some other celebration, or just add some color to a space.
Kids' rooms.
Yeah.
Really be fun.
Yeah. So it's just that simple. You just join them together.
Beautiful, Sarah.
With that little bit of single crochet across the top. You could do something monochrome. Actually, we've got a black and white version that we'll show you here, where you just work that single crochet across the top in the same color as the outer edge of the hexagons. And you can use that to match the decor in any room. So that's our basic hexagons. You can pick up a kit for this little garland project at onebighappy.com. Or just the pattern if you want to go stash diving. Kristin, I want to thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We're going to come back at you with a couple of more projects in the next episodes. But for now, thank you so much for joining us. Happy crocheting!
Happy crocheting!